This video is for you if you are brand new to dating or you haven't been on a date in a really long time and you are ready to find a husband. The vast majority of people who reach out to me, of women who are in my audience, have not been on a date at any point in the last 15 years. If they have, they're going at about maximum 5 dates a year, maximum, usually less than that. So if that's you, or if you're new to dating, or you've never been on a date, or if you think you've been on a date but you're not really sure, this video is for you. My name is Malaika Neri. I've been working with high-achieving women around the world for the past 7 years, helping them meet the right guy to fall in love, get engaged, get married, and start a family. We can absolutely do this as long as you know the right steps to take and in what order. So last night I was looking at a couple videos from some of the people in this whole like dating, matchmaking, falling in love industry to see what they have to say on like how do you actually find a husband. And what I noticed is that no one tells you where and how to find a husband. All of the advice on the internet, 100% of it, falls into two categories. There are the matchmakers who say, I can introduce you. And I get it. Like, I've done that for many years. I've introduced lots of people. I have lots of men who've joined the database that I've had. I am absolutely world-class at finding fit, attractive, high-earning men who are single, never been married before, don't have kids, want to get married for the first time and settle down and stay married and start a family. So I'm very, very good at that, and I've built that skill as a professional just because so many people, so many women ask me to do it. And then there's the other category of all the dating and love coaches who say, here is how to convert a man into a husband. But all of them assume that you, A, are meeting men, B, you know how to meet men consistently. So it's not like one man and then nothing for 6 weeks and then another man. It's like every week, week after week, you are meeting 10 men who are single and one of them might like you, just in terms of pure numbers. So they're assuming that you have inflow. And there's nothing in between, like absolutely nothing. The reason I really wanted to make this video and talk to you about this is because I've realized, like, I'm in my 30s, I take really good care of myself, I eat well, I don't smoke, I don't do drugs, I don't drink alcohol at the moment, I don't think I'll ever go back to drinking alcohol, and I have great social skills, and I go out a lot, and I go out every single day, like, I meet people all the time, and yet it is so much work to actually meet men who are single. Like, either the guys I meet are not single, either they are, they have, like, their social skills are like that of a snail, so they are unable to make conversation. Like, they're not husband material men. I wouldn't recommend any of my students to marry them. So why, like, they're not husband material men. And the third category is that, like, our lives as modern urban professionals are structured to separate the genders. So I was thinking about my weekend, last weekend. Like, I woke up and went to yoga. So there are lots of guys in my yoga class, but again, in yoga class, there's no way to talk to men. Then I was at the gym, I was walking on the treadmill for a bit, but like most people at the gym, especially the guys, are working out. So where do you actually talk to someone? There's like no way for a man. And a man at the gym is there to work out, right? Like, men are one task at a time kind of creatures. Then I went to have coffee with a female friend. So again, no single man. Then I went to get my nails done. So again, beauty salon full of women. There was one man there, I think he's the owner or he's the husband of the owner, and I was shocked. I was like, what is this male person doing in this female only space? And then I went to get like a facial Again, female only space. The only person who was there was a mom with her son, because the son had some kind of skin issue. So she had brought her son to this like skin clinic to get the skin done. And then I came home. So like zero single men on a day of being outside my house from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. 12 hours outside my house in the city center, meeting new people, talking to people, being well dressed, freshly showered, wearing perfume, zero interactions with single men. So and this is like for someone who's putting so much energy and effort and attention and money into like being in the world. What do you do if you don't even know where to start? You're like watching this video from your bedroom and you're like, I feel stuck. I feel absolute terror that I will never have the family of my dreams, that I will never experience soulmate level love. I have spent the last 10 years looking on the internet for good advice on where to find a husband. There is none. And so this video is for you if you want to find a husband but you are meeting zero single men. And on top of that, what creates the terror is just not having any clue what to do if you did meet a single man. Like, how do you even evaluate him for the role of your future husband? So let's dive in without any further ado. So I want to just normalize before we go further that if you are not meeting any men or you don't know how to convert the men you are meeting into dates, like that is normal. My content reaches 1 million women around the world. I've been doing this for 7 years. I'll be doing this for the next 7 years. I have helped hundreds and hundreds of women around the world, and all of them are in the same position. Some of them are extremely beautiful. Some of them are on a weight loss journey. Some of them have amazing hair. Like, all across the spectrum, everyone is in the same situation. And because fundamentally, like, our lives as high achieving women do not match with the way women found husbands in the past. So in the past, for centuries, women had $0. And I mean zero, not like one, but zero. The only people who had money were men. Men had bank accounts. Men had jobs, paid jobs. So I'm not talking about like doing free labor at home, cleaning the house, babysitting the kids, all things that you can get paid for, but women traditionally were never paid for. Men went to a place of work. So it could be, standing on the street and selling coconuts, or going to an office and doing accounting. Men have those jobs. And even today, for the vast majority of the planet, including in New York City and Los Angeles and London and Manchester and Paris and Tokyo and Shanghai, men have those jobs. Like, the vast majority of women are still dependent on men, whether that's dad or brother or husband or uncle or boyfriend. Like, the vast majority. Their housing is dependent on men, their income, their food, their lifestyle standards are dependent on men. So I really want to normalize this for you. I'm trained as an economist. Being an economist means you look at data based on decades of information. So you never just say, oh, I see a tree, therefore there's a forest here. You just look at like 5,000 trees and you're like, oh, this kind of tree grows in this area. So we, when we're trained as economists, we are trained to first look at data, like huge amounts of data. And secondly, I've been doing this work for 7 years. I literally spend all my free time on LinkedIn looking at what kinds of people have what kinds of jobs and what kinds of women have what kind of lifestyles and how they afford those lifestyles. So I'm saying this based on data, nothing else. Most women, like 85% of women worldwide, at least, are fully dependent on men, even if they like to say otherwise on Instagram. So just don't believe everything on social media. Most people on social media are lying. But that's a topic for another video. So if you're a woman who is earning her own money and who's paying her own bills, you are by default in the global minority. And I say this as someone who's worked since I was 16 years old. Like, I would hang out with my friends who I'd grown up with when we were 26 years old. They still weren't supporting themselves. Like 10 years later, I had been earning money since I was 16 years old. And there we were, 26 years old, and they still weren't supporting themselves. And that's normal. Like, even today, those same women who are my childhood friends don't support themselves. Like, normal. So if you are a woman who has an income and you want to find a husband, I want to just normalize that you are doing something that is statistically abnormal. Like, women find husbands because they need money, and men make the money. Even today, most of the planet is dependent on the income of a man. So if you're a woman who has her own income and doesn't need income from a dude, we need a completely different strategy. It's a bit like saying, like, if a person who eats meat is like, just eat chicken and you'll get protein, and you're like, I'm vegetarian, I don't even look at chicken or any other meat or meat adjacent thing like an egg. Like, I need a different way of getting protein, So that's the kind of conversation. So coming to the point, where do you actually start this process? The vast majority, no, let me say that again. All of the advice out there assumes that you are meeting single men and that you know which kind of single men are the right husband material for you. So I remember when I started talking on Instagram about husband material men, like, no other dating coach was even using this word. Insane, right? So you want to start by first defining for yourself what is a husband material man. And I've got a lot of content coming up on creating your ideal partner profile. We'll talk about that in another video. But for everyone, if you're starting either from sub-zero or zero or like less than 5 dates a year, if you're anything under 1 date a week, this is where I recommend you start. Because 1 date a week means you've got momentum, you have a regular supply, you know how to convert men from like just existing on the planet to sitting in front of you, buying you coffee or a meal or a drink, and saying they have a romantic interest in partnering with you, which is a date. Like, anything that's not a man paying the bill and taking you out and planning the evening, proposing date time, location, and saying with his words and his mouth, I want to get married, I'm interested in you as a potential wife. If he's not saying that, it's not a date. It's not even close to a date if you want to get married. So if you're not doing that 1 date a week with a man who, like, with your eyes closed, you would marry him, then this is where I recommend you start. And it's the only place you need to start. Most women will start by jumping on dating apps and, okay, I need to find a husband, let me go on an app. But let me remind you again, 85% of the men on dating apps are not interested in marriage right now or ever. Do you need another minute for that to sink in? 85%. So it's like going to a place that only sells meat if you're a vegetarian. Why would you do that? Right? You wouldn't. Or if you were looking for black pants, you go to a shop that only sells skirts. Why would you do that? It just doesn't make sense. So this is what most women do if they have zero dating experience or haven't dated in a really long time. They're like, I'm going to go look for a husband on a dating app just because dating apps are cheap or free, and you can just whip out your phone and download an app and create a profile. You don't even have to upload a photo. This will do two things. It will give you the illusion that you are making progress when you're actually not. And two, it will waste your time and your precious mental energy. So we as humans have limited mental energy to dedicate to any of our goals. The whole topic of thinking and making decisions is extremely expensive. And so you want to conserve that expensive thinking energy only once a man has already passed your filters and is single and is sitting in front of you telling you, I am interested in marriage to you specifically. If that's not happening, you should not be wasting your mental energy on a dating app looking at thousands of profiles of men who will never marry anyone, not you, not any other woman. So the only place I recommend you start is by first understanding your marriage timeline. So as a logical, rational person, I didn't even know that this exists. But very recently, I found out about traditional Hindu astrology. So Hindu astrology or Indian astrology, it doesn't matter what religion you are, whether you're Christian or agnostic or Muslim or Hindu or Sikh or Jain or Buddhist, it does not matter. It's called Hindu astrology because it originated in India, Hindustan. The old name for India, the British name for India was Hindustan, place of Indians, the stan of the Indians. And so it's called Hindu astrology, but it's not Hindu, it's Indian, from the Indus River Valley. And Indian astrology is based on the date of birth, the time of birth, so like maybe it's 2:15, maybe it's 5 a.m., whatever the date of time of birth, and the location of birth, so the GPS coordinates of where on the planet you were born. And men, single man priests, used to study this very complicated procedure for centuries to come up with the timeline of your entire life. It can even tell you like what career you should be doing, how to plan your fertility, how to plan your moves. So people like the Ambanis, the Gates family, the JP Morgan family, any billionaire uses astrology because they understand the importance of thinking in timelines. So you want to use Hindu astrology or Indian astrology to first understand your marriage timeline. Now, this used to be very difficult to do because it was the domain of priests, and like you had to go to an expert who had theoretically studied astrology for years to get this person's advice, and you had no way of knowing if it was accurate or not. But now, thanks to AI, you can just download my AI birth chart prompt that will read your birth chart, which is like the combination of your birth time, date, and location, to spit out the full marriage timeline for your entire life. So it will literally tell you this is the window when you will meet your husband. If you miss this window for whatever reason, which is completely possible, then here's the secondary window. And before you've done that, you should not be downloading a single app because it will waste your time. If it's not a marriage window, then you're unlikely to meet your husband in that time, no matter how many apps you use or how many dates you go on, or no matter how many profiles you look at. So start by looking at your marriage window. The link is in the description below. It works on any device, Android, Apple, pro version, free version. I really like the pro version of ChatGPT. It gives the best results, but you will get decent results with the free version of ChatGPT, Claude, Perplexity, whatever. Start there so that you stop getting overwhelmed by dating apps and you can calm this panic you currently feel by having really concrete dates and times when you're actually likely to meet your future husband. So head to the link in the description below, and once you've done that, then come back here and watch my other videos for your next steps on how to meet the love of your life and start a serious relationship leading to marriage and family. Make sure you like and subscribe this video. I will see you soon.